Hey class, this video is going to help us with the skill of finding the least common multiple of two numbers. We're going to show you three different ways that we can find the least common multiple of two numbers. So the first, and a lot of times pretty popular way, is by using a list of all the multiples. So if I start with multiples of 6 and multiples of 8 as an example. If I start with the multiples of 6, the first multiple of 6 is 6, then 12, then 18, then 24, then 30, 36, 42, and then would be 48. Whereas multiples of 8, I start down here, of 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, and then 48. So there's a couple that were in common there. 24 and 24 for both 6 and 8. And then there was also 48 that they both had in common. Now, when we think about least common multiple, really think about what that means. Hear the words, as I say them. Least common multiple. So a synonym for least would be, the smallest. Common would be something that they have the same, and then obviously multiples are products of a given number multiplied by another number. So in this case, the smallest multiple that both 6 and 8 share is 24. You can see that was the first one that we circled. So that's going to be the least common multiple of 6 and 8. So that's one way that you can find the least common multiple. Another way is by finding the prime factorization of both the numbers. So for 6, I'm still in yellow there. Let me erase that real quick so you can see a little better. So 6, prime factorization, and I can split 6 into 2 times 3. So the prime factorization for 6 is 2 times 3. Whereas 8, I can split that into 4 and 2. So 2 is prime. And then I have 2 and 2 there. So the prime factorization for 8 is 2 times 2 times 2, or 2 to the third power. Okay? So now when I look at these prime factorizations, I have to include everything from both the prime factorization of 6 and the prime factorization of 8 in order to find that least common multiple. So I look at these two numbers here and their prime factorizations. 6 has 1 2, but 8 has 3 2's. So in order for us to find that common multiple, we have to have at least 3 2's being multiplied together. So another way to say 3 2's, 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 would be 8. So 8 would have to be included in this number in order for it to be a multiple of 8, which makes sense, right? So 8, 2 times 2 times 2 would have to be included in this number. It would have to be a factor of this number in order for it to be a multiple. And, that's, pretty logical. Now, when I go back over to the 6, 2 is already included because we had 2 times 2 times 2. So we're good there. We can kind of check that one off. But the 8 did not have a 3 in the prime factorization. So that 3 has to be included in this least common multiples factors because it's included in 6's factors. if it's, if the multiple of 8 doesn't have 3 in it, or 3 is a factor, I should say, it's not going to be a multiple of both 6 and 8. So we have to have 8 and 3 both in there, and look at there. 8 times 3 equals 24, exactly what we found for the least common multiple for the first example when we just made the list. Now a third way to find the least common multiple of both 6 and 8 would be by using a Venn diagram. And we've practiced these before. So let's say the left side's my multiples of 6, right side's my multiples of 8. So if I start on the left side, I would have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, and 48. On the right side, I would have 8, 16, 24. Oh, I just realized there that 24 was in both. So instead of being on the multiples of 8 and the multiples of 6 sections, I'm going to have to move that in my Venn diagram to the center. Alright, so we have 24 in there, keep going, 32, 40, and 48, but I realize again that 48 is in both, so I'm going to erase that on the left here, put it in the center because that's a multiple of both. So now, least common multiple, remember these are multiples that both 6 and 8 have in common. They would be in the center of my Venn diagram. Now that they're both in the center, it's pretty easy to see which one is smaller. And again, 24 would be the smaller multiple. So the least common multiple of 6 and 8 is 24. And we just talked about 3 different ways that you could find the least common multiple. Use the way that works the best for you. Alright, thanks for watching.